was the spring of 1939, and Howard University, the historically black university in Washington, D.C., was having a fundraiser. And they had invited the greatest contralto singer in the world, Marian Anderson, a black American. She had sung all over the world at Carnegie Hall, at the White House, at Buckingham Palace. Toscanini said her voice came along once in a century. And so they wanted the very best place for Marian Anderson to sing. And in Washington, that was DAR Constitution Hall, the Daughters of the American Revolution. When the officials from Howard went to the DAR, they were told, oh no, I'm sorry, she can't sing there. We do not allow black performers. We do not allow integrated audiences. Well, the officials from Howard knew who to go to. They went to Eleanor Roosevelt, and she was furious. First of all, she was a member of the DAR. Her mother went back to the mother's family went back to the Revolutionary War. She was furious about this. She was especially concerned because think about when this happened. Spring 1939. Only months before, in November of 1938, Adolf Hitler had incited the German people in terrible riots throughout Germany, in 2 nights of killing and beating people up, beating up Jews, and breaking into their shops and their homes and arresting them in these terrible nights we now call Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. Hitler had done that only months before, and the world had seen the true face of fascism. He was denounced in newspapers all across America, and he had an answer. On the pages of the New York Times, he was quoted as saying, "Don't tell me how to treat the Jews. Look how you treat blacks in your country. I got the idea for having Jews sit at the back of trains from what you do with black Americans." So there was a real sense in this country that we were headed toward war with this man, and as Eleanor said, our democracy had to be above reproach. So she wrote a letter to the DAR. She said, "You have failed to lead when you had the responsibility, and I am resigning my membership." And then she sent it to every newspaper in the country. And she put it in her My Day column. She wrote a column every day called My Day, a sort of personal diary. She wrote about it there. And all over the world, suddenly, people were saying, why is the First Lady getting involved with this singer? But she did. And working with a committee of people, they arranged a place for Marian Anderson to sing on Easter Sunday, 1939. Marian Anderson stood at the top of the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. She was wearing a full-length evening gown and a mink coat over it, standing, her head high. She was very beautiful, looking out, and in her mind she thought, I'm not sure I'll be able to sing, because in front of her on the mall were 75,000 people, black and white together. She stepped to the microphone and she sang, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, to thee I sing." People who were there said it was the greatest moment of their lives. But you know, Eleanor Roosevelt didn't go to the concert. She was great friends with Marian Anderson. I'm sure she wanted to go. Not that I'm channeling her or anything like that, but I'm sure she did, but she didn't go. Why not? Why not? Because she wanted that moment in history to belong to Marian Anderson. Leaders empower others to lead. And that's what Eleanor was doing that day. She said, every time we shirk making up our minds or taking action, we weaken our spirit and our ability to be fearless.